Welcome back to ChemLabs, and in this Dark Souls challenge run, I'll be using a weapon class that is the underdog of weapon classes, the spears. It seems only a handful of Dark Souls enjoyers actually see the spear as a good viable weapon, but I'm gonna destroy that uncertainty and show you that the spear is absolutely viable and overpowered in some cases by only using spears to beat Dark Souls Remastered. But first, let's talk about the rules. As usual, no glitches or exploits. Can't prove a weapon is good if you have to use glitches to make it good. Enemies and bosses can only be killed by a spear or gravity. Bosses can be killed in any order, and I can't summon for any boss. Also, this is not gonna be an all bosses run, as believe it or not, I've never done the DLCs, so doing the DLCs while being handicapped would be a pretty bad time. And with the rules out of the way, let's get into the run. Name: Dr. Pokethrust. Class: Thief. And with 5 firebombs and a dream because I failed at doing this the first time, I clapped the ass of the Asylum Demon and then quit out before victory appeared. And that weirdly makes Oscar give you the Asylum key, so with the Asylum Demon's cheeks intact, I left the Asylum. In Firelink Shrine, I went to pick up the earliest accessible spear in the graveyard beside Firelink Shrine, and spoiler, it's trash. But I never let trash get the best of me, so I went up to the Undead Burg, going through the area as I normally would, and made sure to collect the 3 pine resins that are in this chest. And Dark Souls decided to show me that this is still Dark Souls, my friend. Fuck you, Hollow number 15, I still got what I wanted. Remember, the Thief class comes with the Master Key. Good, because I used it to get to the bonfire in Darkroot Basin, and then I got the Red Tearstone Ring, which I only used on one boss. Then I picked up the Grasscrest Shield and showed this Black Knight that gravity will always be the final boss. After making it to the Undead Parish, I quickly opened the shortcut to Firelink Shrine to refill my essence to 10 instead of 5 because I'm about to face the gargoyles. Why so early, you ask? Well, this is the damage. Yep, my weapon is trash, but pine resin hasn't gotten its damage drop off yet, so I gave the first one a sore throat. The second one, well, that's all she wrote. First bell rung, Tight Knight had picked up the basement key and went to face the Taurus Demon and really wanted to use the Red Tearstone Ring, but I was so hungry and tired, I forgot what being in Red Tearstone range is. Yeah, I think this is what stupid looks like. I did remember not to jump off on my second attempt, and damn, that's a lot of damage. Why don't I ever use the Red Tearstone Ring? Oh, yeah. One-shot range. With Taurus down, I have 1 pine resin left, and you, my wonderful, well-thought, smart viewer, might be thinking, he's gonna kill Quelaag, which opens Sense Fortress, giving him access to more than 1 much better spears, and then he's gonna come back and body the early game. And you would have been right, but I don't plan for shit. I was just here to pick up some drip for the run, and I cleared out all the enemies, so I figured let's just make Quelaag even harder and fight Capra. And I am just not noticing. She kind of thick. If you fought Capra as much as I have, you know these dogs ain't shit. And after repeatedly stabbing our boy in all 8 of his eyes, he was blind and I was fine, so I took advantage from behind. So I opened a shortcut to Firelink Shrine, and trust me, I am not trying to make everything rhyme. I got some pop souls and started making my way through the depths. When I found out, I don't one-shot the most basic hollows. So instead of killing every enemy, I did a neat little jump to the large ember, collected it, and hopped down to Ratatouille on steroids. Then I used some firebombs to get its health just low enough to be one-shot by a plunge attack, collected the key, and made it to the bonfire. And instead of being a good boy and just leave, I decided to test my sanity by trying to beat the Gaping Dragon with an unupgraded weapon and a Chandler trying to snipe me, as well as giving the dragon's damage a little sprinkle of extra. And looking back at the footage, if I killed the Chandler, I could have bodied the Gape Grape, but I'd rather not test my sanity this early in the run. So before I tried to make it to our spider waifu, I was wondering if the spear in Darkroot Garden was any good, but it was the same damage and flip scaling with a different moveset, so I stuck to the one I had. Also, I decided to take on the Moonlight Butterfly while I was there, and I can't beat Oscar right now, so while grabbing the Winged Spear, I also picked up this shield that has decent magic defense. Not that I needed it, because I was literally on a roll dodging this attack, and bro just kept spamming it. And really, Dark Souls, you really don't want to see me win, do you? Well, what goes up always comes down, and I put the Moonlight Butterfly right in the ground. And now it's time for the first waifu on the hit list, but first, I upgraded my spear, not too much as I was still broke when it came to materials, and on my way to make Quelaag beg for a long hard piece of you know what. I'm talking about my spear. You guys should stop. I made my mandatory shit walk, and now I'm poisoned with nothing to cure it, about to start a boss fight. And right off the bat, the damage isn't looking good, but I still see yellow, and that's all I need. The boss fight was a true test of my stamina. You can really tell Quelaag missed me, and was so glad I was back that she's the boss that I spent the most time trying to beat. With 5 sets of 30 thrusts, Quelaag was satisfied. So I rang the second bell, and somehow Caestus got jump scared by the loud noise and dove off a cliff. It's not even a boss fight anymore. I mean, what did you expect? respect. After dumping all my souls into decks like a casual, I ran back to the Undead Parish to make my way through Sen's Fortress, and I don't have time to deal with these guys, so I just ran past them. But of course, Dark Souls is still Dark Souls, so I had to die at least once. I did make it to my next best weapon on my second try, but I had to prove I'm worthy, and let's just say I was. So I picked up the Lightning Spear that was a decent jump in damage and made it through Sen's Funhouse, no hassle. Well, I did get followed, but no biggie. Then I went to get rid of a certain giant and used the red Tearstone ring to end his days of throwing balls in a snap. And then absolutely destroyed the Iron Golem's knees. I was literally walking around with an iron stick wrapped in a 500 volt live electric cord. He didn't fall, but he fell, and he was down in just 2 minutes, which unlocks Anor Londo, which houses the spear I'll be using for the rest of the run. So after dying to the Painted Guardians once, I made it to the Gwyndolin bonfire, then passed the whole Archer Nightmare setup on my first try. But I'm not here to face Pickleberry and Plum Plum, no. I'm here to farm this one knight until he drops his weapon, and I kid you not, after planting my spear center mass 51 times, bro was still holding on to the weapon. Bro, put the fucking spear down. You don't want this to get ugly, my friend. You know what? I'm just gonna use a mod. Silver Knight number 3? Fuck you. Okay, let's just pretend I got that weapon on my first try. As the Silver Knight Spear upgrades with Twinkle Titties, I bought all I could from the giant blacksmith and went back to the Undead Burg to test out my damage on the Unfortunate. Then I decided to wrap up a couple bosses for some easy souls, and the first one on the hit list was the easiest, Pinwheel. And yeah, I could have done this with the Lightning Spear, to be honest. Easy fight, easy souls. I got the Mask of the Mother for anyone placing best, and second on the list was a case of revenge. So after making it back through the depths, I got rid of the sniper and went to face the Grape Gate. And you know how this fight goes. I cut off the tail and started thrusting from behind until it's so satisfied it rolls over. And for my troubles, I get a large amount of souls, and now before I take out the next target, I went down to Blighttown and took out all the enemies on my way to collect Power Within and got out safely. Not the first time I've done this, but I wasn't expecting it on this run. On my way back to Firelink Shrine, I freed Laurentius and begged him to give me that sweet fist in hand. Then I upgraded my weapon and backtracked to Anor Londo, taking down the Bell Gargoyles for a second time to get some easy souls. And remember, Miyazaki is always after you, lurking in the shadows, waiting for me to get close to the edge. That's always when he strikes. After making it past the Archer setup, I did the stair skip and made my way to Pickleberry and Plum Plum. And Pickleberry instantly started tweaking. You can already tell this is not about to be a good time. And this wasn't a hard fight. I mean, look at the damage, right? But I just kept dying while I was so close to victory. I could taste it. I could smell victory. And that was a bit frustrating. But after a couple tries, Pickleberry fucked up and Plum Plum was too plumb to be a problem. Easy boss, easy souls, no sweat. You know, I really risked the Chosen Undead could have an affair with Guinevere, but I can't. So if I can't have her, no one can. But I can't reach her, so I'll be back. After getting stocked up on Twinkle Titties, I went back to Firelink Shrine to place the Lord Vessel, and after placing the Lord Vessel, I realized the reason I'm still single. She thick as fuck! And with the Lord Vessel placed, the 4 Lord's days are numbered. Nino is the first on our list as he's the easiest to beat right now. And after making this pro dodge right here, the only thing that would have been a problem, the Bone Boys, are allergic to Divine, and I have a Divine weapon that one-shot them. So after taking care of those slight inconveniences, I wasn't doing the best damage, but I still see yellow, and that's all I need. Wasn't a hard fight, and it didn't even take too long. And after returning to Firelink Shrine, I poured some gas in a bonfire and got 20 Estus in return, which is quite useful when you're about to go up against 100 girls that all want a piece of you. Trust me, I don't know what that feels like. I collected the Firekeeper soul and tried to clear out all the enemies, but this area is overall just a lot of bullshit enemies, so I ended up dead in a corner somewhere, and it got me angry. So I needed to take it out on someone, and that's all she wrote. Then I figured, why not take on the Duke's Archive? So after the mandatory death, I made my way out of the prison, then ran my ass to the balcony bonfire. Then I went to take on Seath, and it was really easy getting here, so I made my first attempt, and the only thing I have to say is this fight was only long because of this move. But once I got some hits in, he was down. No trouble at all. Back to Firelink Shrine, I don't normally fight the waifu, but things have changed, so I got a bird ride back to the asylum to finish my thrusting routine on the asylum demon and showed Oscar why he got no ass from the asylum demon. Bro was trash. Power Within turned on, and so was I, because here I was again taking advantage from behind, and I knew before entering this fight, bro was not gonna keep up. And after showing off my shiny new shield, I collected the doll, killed the Hydra, knowing that I'm not gonna do the DLCs, and now it's time for the waifu. So after I kindled my bonfire, I was not about to get boned in the back by Bone Wheel, so I rushed to kill the dragon, which was surprisingly easy, and jumped attacked his ass, as I do with any enemy that has a distinct ass. And now it's time for Priscilla, which I never knew she turned invisible, and I nearly lost the fight instantly because of it. But our boy Miyazaki know we love them feet, so he made made them visible. Not a hard fight, don't get me wrong, I was hard the whole time, and I directed all that energy to Guinevere. And let's just say she couldn't take all that heat, so she turned the sun off. On my way to femboy Gwendolyn, I gave him some hope of being pinned down as I shoved my spear into both of his followers, and after making it to the boss room and getting 2 hits in, he realized this is still a female character. Boy really wants a man to. Second time's always a charm, and after dodging his arrows like a pro, I made one final thrust to end it all. Then I went to buy some homeward bones, as I'll be using them a lot, and now I'm back in New Londo. And don't look at me, maybe he finally got infected, I don't know, well he's dead now. I homeward boned out and got to Darkroot Basin, and I wasn't pissed until he followed me all the way here just to get a hit off. So I became Itachi Uchiha on the whole forest population, and made sure to collect the Darkroot Grain Ring. And yeah, I know Sif is a girl, but she was not hard. Especially with the flip ring, this fight was downright laughable, and I ended the fight without making her suffer, so there's that. Now I have the ring I need, so I drained New Londo and hopped down, skipping 90% of the lower area, and made my first attempt against the 4 twigs. And because I'm mostly used to fighting this boss with light armor, I've mastered getting hits in and dodging their attacks fast enough that I don't have to worry about another king. Now these guys are made to be damage sponges, so it did take a while, but I snapped the 4 twigs, and now the last Lord Souls is near as I ventured down to the demon ruins to get rid of a... There's no way you just broke my weapon, bro. Okay, it's good. So I got rid of... You know what? Fuck you. I got to the Demon Fire Sage, and if you thought this was gonna be a problem, bro, come on. I fought the same exact boss like 3 times. That's more than enough practice for its limited moveset. And we took on the Centipede Demon next, and you know this is about to be easy. Yeah, I'm still trash. Second attempt, and RNG Jesus was standing beside me in this one because he just started spamming the same attack over and over again that leaves him open for like 5 seconds. So of course, he died. And now, I'ma smash his mom. And smashing was going pretty well. I pinned her left hand down, but while I was going for the right, I fell in one of her holes. Twice. Then I made it and forgot the floor was collapsing, so I did it 3 times. How do you die 3 times to the fucking floor? So I got her right arm pinned, then I died. I tried to run to the middle, then I died. I tried one more time, and I died. Then I made it on my 3rd try. Yay. Such a fun boss, isn't it, guys? It's such a fucking fun boss. Dumped all my souls into Dex and hopped down to the altar, and now it's time for the final boss. And after using all my souls to level up even more and a couple parries, Gwyn's life was flashing before his eyes. And with one last thrust to prove my dominance, the Age of Fire was no more. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and here's another one you can watch. See you next time.